Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the Parliament of India. Think of it as the engine of Indian democracy. So, we're going to get right under the hood and see what makes this powerful institution tick.
And we're not just talking about a magnificent building here. Nope. This is about the living, breathing institution that represents the hopes and dreams of over 1 billion people. It's the place that has the ultimate power to hold the entire government's feet to the fire.
Okay, so how does this whole democratic engine actually work? Let's break it down and start with the absolute basics.
So right at its core, the parliament is actually a three-part team. You've got the president and then two houses, or chambers. You'll hear this called a bicameral system. And the whole point of it? It's designed to build in checks and balances, right at the very heart of how laws get made. And what's amazing is how this institution is both old and new at the same time. I mean, its roots go way back to 1927. Then it was officially set up by the Constitution in 1950. And it's still evolving, right? Just in 2023, a brand new building was opened up to tackle today's challenges.
All right, so we've got these two houses. But why two? What does each one actually do? Let's look at the blueprint of this engine and figure out their different jobs.
You can see right away this is a very deliberate design. On one hand, you have the Lok Sabha, the House of the People. Think of it as the direct voice of the citizens. Members get elected every 5 years, so it's meant to be super responsive to what people want right now. But then you have the Rajya Sabha, the Council of States. This one is all about stability. It's a permanent body, its members represent the states, and you have to be at least 30 to get in. It's really designed to be a more thoughtful, long-term chamber, a kind of check on any sudden populist waves.
And here's a really cool feature of the Rajya Sabha. While most of its members are elected, 12 of them are actually nominated by the president. And these aren't your typical politicians. Nope. They're experts, people who are distinguished in art or science or literature, chosen specifically to bring that incredible knowledge and outside perspective right into the heart of the debate.
Okay, so we've got the institution, we've got the players in each house. So what? How does an idea go from just an idea, to becoming the actual law of the land? Let's follow the journey of a bill.
And let me tell you, this journey is designed to be tough. It's not supposed to be easy. First, a bill gets introduced. Then it's debated on its main ideas. After that, it gets sent to a committee for a super detailed clause-by-clause takedown. If, and it's a big if, it survives that, it faces a final vote. But wait, it's still not over. The whole thing has to be repeated in the other house. Only then can it finally land on the president's desk to be signed into law. It's a real gauntlet.
Okay, but this brings up a classic problem for any system with two houses, right? What happens if one house says yes to a bill but the other one says no, or wants to change it completely? You're stuck. You've got a deadlock. So what then?
Well, the Constitution actually has a built-in tiebreaker. It's called a joint sitting. Basically, everyone from both houses gets into one big room to vote on it together. But here's the thing, it is so rare. It's only happened a few times since 1950. And that tells you something really important. Most of the time, the two houses manage to work it out and find some common ground.
Now, even though both houses are powerful, they're not created equal, especially when it comes to money. There's a core principle at play here. The people who are directly elected should control the nation's wallet. That's why money bills, anything to do with taxes or government spending, can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha. The Rajya Sabha can take a look and make suggestions, sure, but at the end of the day, the Lok Sabha has the final, absolute say.
And this control over money, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. See, Parliament's job isn't just to make laws. A huge part of what it does is to keep an eye on the government, to exercise control, and to demand accountability. This is what they call the power of the purse, and it is the ultimate check. Think about it. The government cannot raise a single rupee in tax or spend a single rupee of public money unless Parliament says okay. That absolute financial veto is probably its most powerful tool for keeping the executive branch in line. And Parliament has this whole toolkit it uses to demand that accountability. You've got question hour every day, which can get pretty dramatic. But the biggest tool in the box, the nuclear option,
That's the no confidence motion. See, the government can only stay in power as long as it has the confidence of the Lok Sabha. If the Lok Sabha passes a no confidence motion, that's it. The government has to resign. It is the ultimate democratic backstop.
You know, away from all the shouting and the TV cameras, the real nitty-gritty work happens in committees. Think of these as the parliamentary watchdogs. You have groups like the Public Accounts Committee that literally spend their time poring over government reports, digging into spending, and checking up on performance. This is where accountability gets really, really detailed.
And that brings us to what might be Parliament's most profound, most serious responsibility of all. Its job as the guardian of the Constitution, the very document that gives it its power in the first place.
I mean, just look at these powers. They are immense. Parliament can actually amend the Constitution. It elects the president and vice president, and it can impeach them too. It can remove judges. It can literally redraw the map of India by changing state boundaries. We're not just talking about day-to-day laws here. These are the foundational acts that shape the very destiny of the nation.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Guardian of democratic accountability, financial probity, federal balance, and constitutional supremacy. It really is the central pillar holding up the entire democratic structure.
So, as this incredible institution moves into the future, working out of both a century-old building and a brand new one, it's facing all sorts of new challenges. And that really leaves us with a big question to chew on. How will this engine of democracy keep evolving, and how will it steer the next chapter of India's story?